na na na. Family goes, oh na na na. Oh na na na. Come kick it with the Casey's. All that love and all those babies. C-A-S-C-Y. Welcome to the lives. Welcome. C-A-S-C-Y. DJ Envy and Gia, oh oh. It's time to kick it with the Casey's. You're tuned into the Casey crew.
What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome. Hello, beautiful people.
Hello, beautiful people. I just want to say thank you so much for riding with us, for leaving comments, for DMing, and of course, for emailing us. All right? You can email us, thekccrew@gmail.com. That's THEE, kccrew@gmail.com. I want to start off by sneezing. I'm about to sneeze.
Okay.
It's coming. Okay, had to get it out. I'm sorry. It happens. It is what it is. All right. You're lucky it didn't come out the other end, but that's not where we're going. I want to say that I'm a dad and I'm a scared dad. And I'm gonna tell you why. Today, what's that?
Had a hair.
Not a hair.
Yeah.
Want to check to see yours?
No.
I'm a scared
On your
dad.
chin? Yeah, that would be a problem.
Yeah, right. Nasty. I want to say I'm a scared dad. So if you haven't heard, our daughter, our oldest, our 23-year-old right now is in Paris. That's another hair. I was getting busy down there.
Same one I didn't get it. You a wild boy. Go ahead.
Our daughter is in Paris. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
For Christmas, Gia and myself gave her and her boyfriend a trip to Paris. And it was very difficult for me to let her go. I thought it was going to be easy, but I started having anxiety about all the things that could happen. I actually did a little video of it. Let's play the video right here. Today is a sad day. All my dads and fathers out there are going to feel my pain. My 23-year-old daughter and her boyfriend are going to Paris for 9 days. This is them loading up the car. I mean, they got too much bags, man. They overpacking just like their mom. Now, I'm hoping we don't make it. We only have 100 miles left on the battery, so I'm hoping it breaks down, but it didn't happen. We get to the George Washington Bridge. I'm praying for traffic, but look, no traffic, no delays, no accidents, nothing. Then we get to the Whitestone Bridge. A little bit of traffic, but not enough for their flight to be delayed or they miss their flight. But look how beautiful my city is. Why would she want to leave? We finally get to JFK. A little bit of traffic, but not enough for them to miss that damn flight. Look at all the luggage. They got too much stuff, but they finally made it. So that's Andrew right there. He's a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, so I ain't talking to him this season. But look how beautiful Paris is. I mean, she's eating at restaurants, at food that I've never heard of, and going to places I can't pronounce. But I miss you, baby. Hurry your ass back home. Be safe. I love you. Yeah, and I had so much anxiety because, usually I have kids and my kids go where they want to go pretty much. But going to another country just made me so nervous. She wears jewelry. I made her take off all her jewelry at the airport. I'm like, take everything off right now.
Before she got out the car.
Yeah, before she got out the car. I mean, I'm just a dad, but I was just saying that because I know people say, it's a child and she's 23 years old. You should let her fly. She has to experience the world. But with so much going on in the world, it just is very scary to me. So I call her every morning at 3 a.m. our time, which is about 10 a.m. their time. I talk to them about everything that they're doing. They're still on the Life 360 app. I watch them all the time. So I just want to say, if you're out in Paris, because we have listeners all over the place, and you see my daughter, say hi. Don't scare her, but say hi and say, I got you. How do you feel about her going to Paris? Did it make you nervous at all or no?
Yes, it does make me nervous. Just because, like, for instance, in New York City, when I go to the city, if I'm going out with my friends, if I'm going out with Rashawn, a lot of times, like, I don't wear jewelry.
Mm.
I don't wear a nice bag because it's like the Hunger Games out there.
It's
And
nasty.
it's no different overseas, especially in Europe. Now in Europe, and I've known quite a few people that have gotten robbed or friends of friends that have gotten robbed. Basically, you'll be there, and especially if you're staying in a hotel, they'll spot the people in the hotels that they want to target. They see them coming out every day. Sometimes they lay in wait. So what they'll do is they'll pull up on you on a scooter or like what they call like a motorbike, a motorcycle of some sort, and hop off, snatch everything off of you, hop back on, and take off. So I told Madison, like, no special bags. He was very insistent on the jewelry before I could even say anything about it. So I'm nervous about things like that. But aside from that, they're low profile. They're going to the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, the Musée d'Orsay, the Champs-Élysées. Like they're Moulin Rouge. Like they're doing all of the things. Actually, They're going to Amsterdam in a couple of days, and then they're going to London after that, and then they're going back to Paris, and they're going to fly out. So I was a little nervous with the traveling and everything, but she and I did the entire itinerary down to the outfits that she's wearing every single day. I packed all of her luggage for her. She bound the entire, like she took it to Staples, and every day what they were doing, literally very much my style, hour by hour, outfit by outfit, thoroughly organized. It was nice to see a little bit of me rubbing off on her. I'm saying that to say that I know exactly where she is at every moment of the day. I have been tracking her, I would say every hour and a half since she's been gone. And I'm pretty much putting it up against the itinerary to make sure she is exactly where she's supposed to be. So no, she's very responsible. Andrew is very, very responsible. And she's very much like you.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel very, like she's the type of girl that when she walks into a place,
Her head's on a swivel.
her head's on swivel.
She knows. She
knows where all the exits are.
Yeah.
You could say, who's sitting 3 tables behind you on the right side of the table? What's he wearing? She'll say he has on a blue hat, a yellow t-shirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers. Like she's already cased the joint.
Yeah, she's just
yes. And if anything makes her feel uncomfortable, she's out. And I feel that she takes on more of like the male role in that sense. Even when we go out, it's kind of nice because she takes on the male role. Like she becomes you when we go out. You know, she's always mentioning, you know, what's going on, who's around, what makes her feel leery. Mom, I'll take care of it. Like she does that. So,
yeah. And that's, and I love that about her. She probably gets that from me, which I get it from my dad, who's
definitely gets it from me.
Ex-police officer. So that's what we do. That's one thing I would say that makes me feel very comfortable with her going out. Like she is definitely like that. I want to go to Amsterdam. I've never been to Amsterdam.
Why do you want to go to Amsterdam?
I don't want to go with you though.
What do you mean?
I'd rather go with Esther.
So I wonder if you know what Amsterdam is all about.
Well, see,
and you saying that you want to go with Esther makes me very, very concerned.
Well, there's 2 sides to Amsterdam. I was gonna say there's 2 sides to Esther. No, there's 2 sides to Amsterdam, right? There's the prostitution side where there's women in the window. We don't care about that side. I got enough ass at home. But the side I care about is the smoke side, right? Because I would love to see the different levels of smoke and what it does and how it affects you and this, that, and the other. Because it's supposed to be a place where it's just like a smoker's paradise where they break down a lot of cannabis and what cannabis does to the body. And you're not a smoker. You don't smoke. Gia doesn't put anything in her lungs. Pause. But she
not even hookah.
Nah, not even hookah.
My friends think I'm lame, but later for y'all.
Yeah, but so I would love to just see that experience to see what those cannabis vibes would be.
Yeah, so Amsterdam is known for sex.
On one side.
Prostitution and the Anne Frank Museum and the Vincent van Gogh Museum and the Heineken tours.
But on the other side, Amsterdam was the first place to legalize marijuana.
But wasn't there, I was a little confused. Wasn't there something with, was it Nicki Minaj?
Yeah,
in Amsterdam?
It was something, allegedly they found something.
I was like,
where am I going? I have no idea where I'm going.
Go to the police station.
Never gave anyone so I'm under arrest.
Yes.
Nicki Minaj arrested at an Amsterdam airport. The rapper documenting the incident on social media before being released hours later.
Under arrest for what?
Stop filming now.
I'm under arrest for what? Do you know what happened?
Nicki going live on Instagram asking why she's being taken into custody. The police not offering an explanation.
What am I doing? I never gave anyone so I'm under arrest.
Yes.
But under arrest for what?
Stop filming now.
I'm under arrest for what? Do you know what happened when I came
You
here?
have to go inside.
Huh? What you said?
Can you please stop filming and just step in the car for us?
No, I need a lawyer, because I don't know where I'm going.
You will get a lawyer at the office. You can contact the lawyer, but if you just step in the car.
In a separate post on Instagram, Nicki films an encounter with what looks like an airport official.
Tell me again.
The police officer told me we have to offload all the luggage.
Okay.
And to search everything
Okay.
with your luggage.
Why didn't you guys search it before it went on the plane?
They did just a quick check, but now they want to open
Why?
it.
According to Nikki, the whole situation stemmed from drugs found in her bags. Writing on X, they said they found weed and that another group of people have to come here to weigh the pre-rolls. My security has already advised them those pre-rolls belong to him.
Because you filmed him and he was like...
Because I filmed him?
Yeah, he was like, he doesn't believe me that you don't have more with you than you say.
No, he asked me, do I have any more in those purses? And I said no. And I asked him, where are my bags? They took my bags and put it on the plane before I could know what bags are on the plane.
I see.
The Star points out, quote, "This is Amsterdam, by the way, where weed is legal." The local police tweeted Nikki was arrested on suspicion of exporting soft drugs. In Amsterdam, marijuana is classified as a soft drug. And after being fined, she was released.
I used to work hard just to get her back. Work hard just to get her back.
Before the incident, Nikki was set to perform in the UK as part of her Pink Friday World Tour. The rapper claiming her arrest was all in part to, quote, sabotage her show. On X, she says after, quote, sitting in a jail cell for 5 to 6 hours in the Netherlands, they, quote, succeeded at their plan to not let me get on the stage tonight. Nikki's flight from Amsterdam to England landing past the time the venue was willing to let her perform.
I always spoke to my fans on Twitter. The good thing is the fact that they feel connected to me.
Nikki says she plans to find a way to make up the missed performance by adding an extra tour date. But for now, quote, I'll have the lawyers and God take it from here, though.
Yeah,
Something doesn't seem right about that story. I could have that
weird.
wrong, though. I thought I heard something
But
like that.
even
though,
in the
right?
States, you can have, there's certain states where you can have marijuana, but you can't have it in the airport. So it's weird as it is what it is.
Well, I arranged for them to go to the Museum of Prostitution.
Well,
There's a museum of prostitution in Amsterdam.
I think they could figure out how prostitution started.
No, but I'm like, what could possibly be offered at the Museum of Prostitution? Kind of strange, right?
I don't know if I would want my daughter to go to the Museum of Prostitution.
I think that it would be interesting to say the least. And I said maybe it's worth going to because you are in a country where prostitution is everywhere. You know, it's like you walk down the street and there's like women in the windows and you could just go in and buy her, essentially. Do you know what I mean? So why I thought it might be interesting is why is this country so intent on prostitution? Why is it legal here? So it gives a history. You know, not that you're going to go in and want to see people.
I was about to say, if that's the case, we might as well go down there. I mean, we got 4 kids left to go to college. I can go in a window for like a week and just cash out.
Make a little money.
Cash out.
But it's so rampant. I doubt they get paid very heftily.
No.
Right?
I don't know. But she is out there. We miss her and she'll be back next week. So we're, waiting for her return. All right. Now, I wanted to start this podcast off with a subject and a situation that we've talked about many a times. And this is always one of the biggest things when it comes to people's relationship, right? Which is what? What's the biggest problem in people's relationship?
Money.
Money.
Oh. What would you think it was? What were you going to say it was?
He was going to say
infidelity,
but it's always money.
No,
right? People
no.
get over infidelity, but they can't get over money, right?
Yeah.
So I seen a story online about this woman who her and her boyfriend were going through problems at their house to the point where the lights went out. So when the lights went out, I guess she was looking, through the the closet to find something and found her boyfriend's bag. And when she opened the bag, she found $24,000 in the bag. So she was upset, saying like, damn, the lights is out. I'm fucked up and you got this money and you didn't say, hey, babe, let me help you out.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you say you saw the story?
Oh, it was online somewhere.
Okay. Go ahead.
Which made me think about money in relationships, a situation that we always talk about, and that we always talk about money in relationships, which made me think about our very own Mercedes. And I wanted to get your advice.
Okay.
So Mercedes went to the casino, right? When she went to the casino, she lost.
Hold on. Are you okay with this?
She's saying, it's too late now. I already started.
Okay.
So Mercedes went to the casino. And she lost her money at the casino. I guess not all of her money. I guess the money that she brought to gamble, she lost.
When was this?
A couple of months ago.
Okay, I don't know this story.
Yeah. So she went to the money and she lost her money. She was there with her boyfriend. And he did what any man would do. Here's $1,000. Take that. You be good. Mercedes won $5,000. Right? So
I think I know where this is
I
going.
guess he said, "Oh, you won. All right, give me back my money." Mercedes said, "You gave me that, so that's my money." So now their trip was pretty much ruined because they argued over the money. So what Mercedes?
Wait. Hold on. They argued over the money in that moment.
Yeah.
And then what did what happened in the argument?
Well, Mercedes kept the money. Right.
Oh, so that's how the argument ended.
That's how the
it
argument
ended with her keeping the money.
To the point where the next
Okay.
day, when they were driving back from Atlantic City, which is about a 2-hour drive, they called me, both of them. Boss, I told him if this was boss and gear, this wouldn't be the situation. So this is what happened.
Would not be the situation.
So
she was right about that.
So I said, what happened? She said, "Oh, he gave me 1,000. I won 5, and then he wanted his money back." I'm like,
sounds about right.
No. I said,
at the very least, it sounds about right.
I said, no, he's wrong. And she was like, I told you.
I know what you're about to say.
I said, if you won 5.
Can I guess?
Okay.
She should have given him 25.
Exactly. We should be splitting it and breaking it down.
Yes.
And he was like, see, I told you. I mean, it's only right. If you're down and I give you 1,000 and you come up at the casino, 5,000, we should be, here, babe, here's 25 for you, 25 for me. We bust it down. Right? Because that wasn't your money. If you didn't have that money, you wouldn't have won. But if I didn't give you that money, I wouldn't have won. So it should just be, here's 25 for you, here's 25 for me. You're both happy. She took the whole 5,000.
Did you ever give any of it back?
No.
Wow.
No. And then
I'm not gonna lie. Is he gonna see this?
And wait,
okay.
and then
I'll keep some of my comments to myself.
And then later on, she asked him for more money for something else. And she was like, you just won. She was like, yeah, but that's my winnings. Right? Right?
Wait, hold on. Wait. She asked him for money for something else?
Yes, for something else later on. Something, I guess, towards the house. And he was like,
days later?
Days later.
Weeks later?
Days, not weeks, days. And he was like,
he's like, you just came up.
You just came
5
up.
stacks.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, but that's my winnings. What?
Let's not confuse the two.
Let's not confuse the two. This is money I need for our house. But this is my winnings. So I wanted to have that conversation because I feel like
that is giving greed.
Just a little bit. But if we go to the casino, right, and if you're a couple that goes to the casino, so Guy and I go to the casino, we do gamble, but we don't gamble like gamblers. We gamble like old people, meaning we come to the casino with a budget, right?
Budget gambler.
Budget gambler. And it's not because we don't have it. It's because I think I've seen so many people lose so much at the casino. Like I've seen people lose hundreds of thousands of dollars,
and you can see why,
right? So we go with a budget. And when I say the budget, if let's say we're staying at the hotel, we will go down with that budget. And once that budget's gone, it's a wrap. So let's just say the budget is $1,000 when we go, 500. Once that money's gone, we out. And 1,000 is a little too much. We ain't going that much. Well, I'm not. But so let's say the budget's $1,000. And let's say I'm doing well and I'm up 700 and Gear's down. She loses. I give her half what I have. Because at the end of the time, we're going to the casino for fun. This is our date. We know we can't break the casino, right?
We can get rich.
We know we can't get rich off the casino. We know that.
We might be able to pay for dinner because that's usually what we do. If we win, say $300, well, we're gonna have a nice steak dinner tonight.
But that's
the casino.
That's how we look at it. Some people will bet 3,000, they win 30. We're never gonna get that far because we're not betting 3,000 a hand. We might, the most I will bet $50 a head, and if I'm feeling lucky, that means I gotta be up $100.
But we will be at that table with that same. That say it gets down to $500, or we start with $500. We'll be at that table with that $500 for like 8 hours.
8 hours. 8 hours.
Recycling that blackjack table to no end.
But that's our entertainment. Like that's our entertainment
fun.
For the night. That's we have fun, we joke, we get free drinks, we laugh, and then if we make $300, if we make $200, we'd be like, we just paid for dinner. We just pay for movie tickets. We just pay for concert tickets. That's how we look at it. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I know I can't break the casino. I know it's not going to happen. I know I'm not going to walk away and it's going to be like one of those movies and I done made 100,000 or $1 million. It's not going to happen. I don't have the balls to bet that much. If you do, congratulations. I don't. So tell Mercedes she was wrong.
Mercedes, you were wrong. You were absolutely positively.
She said to this day.
Wrong. Still wrong. Yeah, absolutely wrong. Because when you're in a relationship, it's about team. Like 50-50. If I'm up, you're up. If I'm down, we're down together. It doesn't matter. Like, my winnings is your winnings. My luck is your luck.
And I got to throw some more business about another friend of yours, right? She did some crazy shit. Your friends are crazy.
Wait a minute.
What?
Is it kind of similar to this situation?
Interest.
I don't know.
So let me tell you.
I don't know if you could.
Let me tell you. So Gia has another friend. I'm not saying no names. Gia has another friend. Similar
It's
situation.
okay, because her man definitely doesn't watch the podcast.
Right. So this is the situation.
So, okay.
Gia's other friend, I guess his money got tied up somehow, and say, "Yo, babe, let me hold 10,000 for a little bit." She goes, "Sure."
It wasn't 10,000.
How much was it?
It
5,000?
was 2,500.
It was 2,500. Let me hold 2,500 for whatever until I get my check.
2,500 seems to be the motif today.
So she goes, "Yeah, with stipulations." He like, "Stipulations? I mean, your pussy every day. What stipulation do you need?" She goes, "I'll give you $2,500, but I need it back with interest." That's her man. They stay in the same place. They swap spit. He said yes. When he paid her back, he paid her the $2,500 with $500 interest. That's more than the bank. And I told Gia, I overheard it. You know, I told you, I gave you talking to her friends, I'd be fake sleeping. So I told Gia, I said, it's not going to work. And she goes, why? I said, if you ever charge me interest on the money that I borrowed from you and we live in the same house, that's going to be a problem. That's crazy.
We talk about that to this day. And if you guys are seeing this part of the podcast, it means I didn't edit it out. Because after we're done, I'm going to call her and make sure that it's okay that we're talking about it. She'll probably say, because she's not with that person anymore. Go figure. So I told her at the time, and listen, I have to say, this was earlier on in their relationship. This was probably going on a year into their relationship. And the reason why she did that was because in her previous relationship, she lent a boyfriend $500 and got burned. She never got the money back. And she swore that she would. She really believed that she would. So she just wanted some insurance. But I told her that this is someone that she cared for and that cared for her.
Mhm.
And that she saw a long-term relationship being grown out of it. So I said, if you charge him interest, you're setting a precedent, because it's not even a fair amount of interest. And it feels as though you're trying to come up off of an opportunity. Like, y'all lend you this money, but I'm going to get more interest from you than the bank would even get. So it seems like you're coming up off of someone that's supposed to be your partner, your teammate. Now, he said okay, but I'm sure he only said okay because he needed
that
money.
bread. That's right.
But I said, you're planting a seed that you're not going to be able to ungrow. You're not going to be able to dig that back up and take it out of the ground. It is there. So now if I'm him, it's like, okay, anything that I do for you is going to be with the stipulation. And if I can come up off of you, then I will. I'm not going to do anything for you just plain and simply out of the kindness of my heart. And God forbid you ever need something. Because if you ever need something, I'm not going to come at you like a team player. We're going to have to negotiate some stuff. We're going to have to negotiate how it is that I'm going to help you. And I said, you don't want to really start a new relationship with that bad blood. So he paid her what he borrowed. He paid her the interest. And I think it's safe to say that what I had trepidation about in the beginning played out over the years.
Well, I would just say this. If you are in a relationship, take all these things into mind. People are affected by every little bit of things. And just remember, the biggest problem in a relationship is not infidelity. It's not the kids. It's always finances. So you have to find that medium. Now, Mercedes should give that man back his money right now and say, look, I was
Just
wrong.
sell it.
Just sell it back to him. Mercedes is like, F that money's already gone.
And in the note section, just put sorry.
Yeah. And we would love to know how you guys handle money in your relationship. Please email us, thecaseycrew@gmail.com. That's THEEKCrew@gmail.com. And leave a comment under. We see all your comments, good, bad, or ugly. We read them shits. Sometimes we reply, sometimes we don't. But we just want to say thank you so much. And we always reply to the sometimes when y'all a little disrespectful, that's not that response.
Yeah, well, S. has the access to the comments.
That's right.
That's why I don't comment back. Okay, that's not really a good excuse. I think that there's a way for me. I'm not very technical.
There you go.
I
There you go.
But that is the reason why I tried to comment back, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how. Okay, can you set that up for me? Because I read every last comment on every last podcast, unless you're commenting like 5 or 6 days after it's posted, then I stop reading the comments. But if you're commenting like, up to 5 days after it's posted, I'm reading your comment, and I blocked somebody on the last podcast. Okay, can y'all believe this?
Hold on. Now, before we get there, I block.
That irritated me.
I am the block king, right? And usually I block people for being disrespectful about me or disrespectful about my family. And when I mean disrespectful, I mean they call me waffle color Negro, they call me light bright, they call me all types of things. That stuff doesn't bother me. That's actually jokes and things like that, right? If you go a little too far, then I gotta block you. But now tell them why you blocked somebody yesterday.
I mean, it was a little silly, but listen, I'm going to be 1,000 with you guys right now. We do this podcast because it's fun for us.
Correct.
And it's kind of a way that we get to spend an hour together once a week where we're just talking about fun stuff, interesting stuff, relationship stuff. And I think that I feel closer to you after every podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like,
we also do it to help.
And
we do it to help.
We do it to help.
We understand that. Yeah.
Yes. And we've been through so much, and we've been together for 30 years. Mm-hmm. So, and as that said, because we employ somebody and allow him to take care of his family.
Right.
So,
a couple of people. Again.
Yes. But anyway, I'm not going to tolerate people in the comment section that are just being nasty for nasty's sake.
Correct.
Now, if you have a negative opinion, I got you. Mm-hmm. It's no problem. I have no problem if you have a negative opinion. If you disagree with something, I welcome all of that. I actually love reading those comments because it's food for thought for me, right? Also part of the fun. But this person was just so silly. The person was like, did you screenshot it before you removed it? Oh, okay.
He said, no,
I screenshot
it and sent it to me.
I screenshot it and sent it to him. I was like, block this person. Well, they said that they were unsubscribing anyway. She was like, or he was like, I don't even know if it was a boy or girl or a man or a woman, but they were like, if you saw the last podcast, I had on like a little gray Scully. It was the first day of the week that we had snow. So it was like a big, huge snowstorm.
I gotta explain why you got snow.
Hold on, I'm going to. We had like 6 inches of snow. And as soon as we were done filming, the plan was to go out in the snow and play with our kids, because the snow was coming down.
You ain't got to explain all that.
That's not the point. I am explaining. I don't need to, but I'm telling a story, so I'm explaining, right? So I had a gray skull cap and a gray sweatsuit. And this person was like, how's she sitting? Something like this. I'm paraphrasing.
He said, why the F are you wearing that big ass hat on your big ass head?
No, that's not what they said. Why, go ahead. Why that? Give it to me. That was a bad throw. Here, you read it.
Why the fuck are you wearing that on your head in your mansion? Get the fuck out of here. Unsubscribe.
I'm like, okay. Well, I hope that you meant unsubscribe for real, because I'm going to block you from being able to watch this podcast in the future if you happen to change your mind. Like, I couldn't even understand. Like, why do you care about what I'm wearing on my head? Why do you care about what I'm wearing, period? This is a podcast. We're here. Like, if you see on my Instagram, I hashtag come over, you're invited. Because when you guys watch us, you're watching us in our natural element. I'm wearing whatever I'm wearing, not because I got dressed for the podcast. It has to do with what I'm doing that day. Mm-hmm. If that day I'm cleaning or I'm tending to house things, you may catch me in my pajamas. Today, I'm in leggings and a hoodie because I have running around to do. You may catch me in a gown if I'm going to a gala after we wrap the podcast and walk out of the house. Y'all got me, that's not just right. Y'all got us in a bed one day. It's real. It's what's actual. I'm not pretending. I'm not putting on for you guys. Mm-hmm. So this person was nitpicking the fact that I had on a skull cap as opposed to just enjoying or absorbing from the content. And I'm like, if that's the case, not for nothing, you don't deserve to watch it. So I hope that when you unsubscribed, you really meant it. And that's all that it was.
All right.
And they were very disrespectful, dropping an F-bomb, talking about we live in a mansion. Who cares if we live in a cardboard box? It's cold outside and I'm about to go play with my kids.
Let's get to pillow talk.
What's in, what's out, what's up, what's down, who's trending? I wanna know now. Can we talk? Can we pillow talk now? Can we talk? Let's pillow talk now.
The pillow talk comes from Queen Naja, R&B artist. Salute to Queen Naja. Now, she says on Instagram, I feel like children of content creators will have a different type of trauma, for real. Imagine your mom being blamed for everything. LOL. It's funny, but it's not. Now, that's a conversation I've been saying, especially, I don't even know why this conversation has been coming up for like the last 6 months. And that's where I say that when people put these, whatever they do on social media, do they necessarily understand how it affects their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even with us sometimes, right? You don't think about how we can handle things opposed to our kids, right? So I put a lot of stuff on social media. I joke around on the Breakfast Club all the time. But how does that affect your actual kid? So now with that being said, what should you put on social media and what shouldn't you put on social media? I was having a conversation with this woman the other day, and she was saying, that she does a podcast, and she was saying that she met this couple on social media and she was part of their threesome for a while, which is her business, whatever she wants to do. But when you talk about that, how does that affect your kids when they come into high school and they say that their mama is a side chick or their mom is a threesome chick or whatever it may be? How does that affect? So how do we get to a place where we say we don't want to traumatize our kids? For ourselves, if we don't have kids or we don't have anybody to fall back on or what things we make up, we can take that. But how safe and comfortable is it for our kids? What do you think?
I think that there needs to be boundaries. And it's funny because when you interviewed that person, we had a little bit of a conversation when you came home. And we have a very open dialogue in our household. We share a lot with our children, but there are always boundaries of what they should know versus what they shouldn't know. But I think that this is an interesting conversation for us to have, especially with you viewers, because, for instance, this podcast, we talk about all types of things.
Right.
We talk about sex, we talk about intimacy. Sometimes we go into great detail because we want to be of value to our viewers. So we always try to share as much as we comfortably can.
Right.
And I think that we comfortably share a lot. So the same thing can be asked of us. What if our children at some point will come back and watch what it is that we speak about on this podcast? To answer that question, I would be okay with it because I wouldn't allow my children to watch adult content until they were adults themselves or could benefit from the same information that we're sharing with you guys. My daughter is 23 years old, so she is a full-fledged adult. When I was 22, I was married with a house and a baby and a tremendous amount of responsibilities. So I already knew about much of the world and worldly things. So at 23, I can have conversations with my daughter about sex, about intimacy, about love. If you guys watched one of the podcasts that we did several podcasts ago, it was myself and Madison discussing some of those things, discussing relationships, etc. And that was only a 1-hour sample of it. But we talk about life as a whole regularly. So as long as whatever it is that you're sharing is something that you feel comfortable with your children knowing in the future, then I think that that would be your boundary.
Well, let me ask you a question. So on the Breakfast Club, if you guys watch the Breakfast Club or don't, people always joke that me and Charlamagne are, how you have your work wife, that he's my work wife, right?
Yeah.
And we joke about it all the time, right? So what's the difference in that? Because, people have made fun of Logan, like, oh, your dad is this, your dad is that. But I don't take it serious because it's jokes. And I crack jokes all day long. I crack jokes on you. I crack jokes on Esther. I crack jokes on Mercedes. They crack jokes on me back. So it's certain things. So where is the line with it? Because I joke all day long. Even with Charlamagne, I see him, like I do stupid stuff. I am that stupid guy because I'm confident in myself, right? So meaning, if we're walking in the building, right? And Charlemagne doesn't see me. And you know the turning thing, the glass?
Yeah.
And he goes in there.
Revolving door?
The revolving door. I don't know why I said
Turning
glass.
thing
The turning
made
the
of glass.
Yeah. So if he jumps in the I remember he did it one time. He was getting in the revolving door. I jumped in there behind him and I stopped it, right?
And then you bumped?
I didn't,
Did you bump into him?
see the joke. See? That's jokes if you laugh because it's stupid.
Seems contrived. Just little,
You see what I'm saying?
get a little feely feel.
No, I didn't get a little feeling.
Okay.
But I stopped it, right? So now we're in the revolving door. He's trying to get out and I'm holding the revolving door. People looking at us like we're crazy. That's the stupid shit that I do, right?
Mhm.
It is what it is. It's just stupid. Like that's it. But Logan could get joked off if he's in high school about it. You know, Jackson or any one of our kids, if they're in high school, a parent could be, a kid could make fun of it. I think it's jokes. I think it's funny.
Well, if kids are making fun of it, it's probably funny, the fact that they're making fun of it.
But if your mom talks about, she got a train ran on an Instagram.
That's
and
not
kids,
funny.
That's not funny.
That's not like
To you, it's not funny. Somebody might think it's
find
funny.
the humor in that. So, but if kids were making fun of, say, for instance, Logan because of the jokes that his dad makes on a nationally syndicated morning show that's rooted in humor, I would say find new friends. You're not in good company. A huge part of life is humor and laughter and straight up and down jokes. Like our house revolves around that. We
All day
are
long.
always laughing and joking and playing. Yeah. 3 nights ago, Rashawn was on the edge of the bed and you said something I didn't like. And Madison was on the bed too. We're all having a conversation. And he looked down on his phone and I threatened him. And I was like, listen, you say something like that again, how far is the fall between your ass and the floor? And he was like, stop. Like, before he could even answer, I just kicked him off the bed. And I jumped off the bed and I yoked him up and I got him in a headlock. And it was the most amusing thing in the world to me. And Madison found it really funny. It's just, we play
This
fight.
is not the house to be soft. Like
you
this
can't
house
be
can
soft here.
Like if you stutter,
He could
they make
not.
fun of everybody in this house to stutter.
I
Like
need to
if you be
stop
like
that.
whatever like is, everybody's making fun of you.
I need to, no,
Even to the point where London will be
to
like,
stop that.
Dad, what you say, Dad? Like it is what it is. The other day we were driving, we were dropping Madison off at to the airport to go to Paris. And I was talking about, you guys should go, enjoy yourself. You should see the agriculture of Paris. Yo, I meant architecture. But when I say they made fun of me for an hour straight.
everything went silent. Me and Madison just started laughing. We were like, the agriculture? So you're going to go to Paris and
See some farms?
see some cows.
Even to the day when she FaceTimes us, she was like, Dad, the agriculture is amazing. It's jokes. I don't cry. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It is. That's what our family's about. We crack jokes. My dad hit me the other day. He was listening to the Breakfast Club. And, their joke is that I'm Dominican and I'm not black. So my dad goes, you better walk around with your passport because ICE is coming for you. It's jokes. Like, it is what it is.
Right.
It's like my dad, like my whole family's a bunch of assholes and we just crack jokes all day. But, when it comes to some of the other things, I think you really have to be careful of what you put online because even though you say, oh, I don't care how it affects me, I don't care how people look at me, you have to remember if you do have kids, it could affect them. And like Queen Naz just said, it could actually scorn them and really leave them traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
I agree.
All right. Well, let's get to the email of the week.
If you don't know what to do or say, put it in a letter, just send it, put it in the email of the day, the email of the day.
Hello, Gia and Envy. First, let me start off by saying I love you both. Been a loyal listener since the Casey Crew episode 1 and Breakfast Club fan for many years. I love your relationship and communication. I've been with my husband for close to 18 years. Our relationship is wonderful and we're really happy together. This past weekend, we went out and got into a public argument, which we never do, and totally messed up our date. I'm still mad about this today because it bothers me. So I need some help to settle this once and for all. First of all, here's some background info. My husband is very good at arguing. And even though he is wrong at times, he still wins because I give up. I call him the lawyer. I call Gia the lawyer too. Okay, this is going to be great. Oh, I know you know what I'm talking about, Envy. I do. Since Gia is a lawyer in your relationship, LOL. He got all the answers and rebuttals in the world and it's annoying. Sometimes he makes me feel as though he doesn't really care about my feelings and just wants to win the argument.
Mm.
We are both Scorpios and we get along great for the most part, but sometimes the Scorpio stinger comes out. This past Saturday, we went out and he kept saying the N-word in public as he was drinking.
Mm.
That sounds like me. At first, I didn't say anything, but later I just couldn't keep my mouth shut and told him he looked crazy saying that in public and to please stop, which I said very nicely. At one point, there was a black couple next to us. He then got mad and kept on justifying why it's okay for him to say that. He says it's okay, it's just a word, and that he grew up in the hood. He's Mexican and I'm white. That nigga crazy. Also, that when he grew up, him and his black friends would just say it to each other as a term of endearment, even and no matter what race they were referring to. So we kept on arguing about this, and he defended his behavior, no matter or regard of my opinion. He also says if it ever became a problem in public, he would deal with it then. My thing is, why even get into or invite that situation in the first place? Also, why doesn't he care that it bothers me and it looks ridiculous? I think that's the bigger issue. He always says when we go out, we are both representing each other. So why do this? It's not classy at all and gives me the ick, to be honest. It bothers me because if I did something in public and it bothered him, I would stop immediately, even if I didn't feel right. To be fair, he was not using the word in a bad way, more like calling me that. Oh my God. Which would be okay to do at home, and I wouldn't have had a problem. But in public, it's not acceptable. I feel, and it bothers me. What do you guys think?
Okay, hold on.
Oh, he says, like, I love you, my nigga. Love, yours truly, Embarrassed Anonymous.
Okay. So clearly, he is Mexican.
Yeah.
However, when he says the word, for him, it is a term of endearment. According to him, he grew up in the hood.
According to him.
And this is, excuse me?
Can I crack a joke?
Feel free.
If you really want to get him, just push him outside when ice is outside and be like, see you later, my nigga. That's what you should do.
So I relate to the embarrassment that she speaks of when her husband is insensitive
It's a jokey joke.
to other nationalities and their plate.
It's a jokey joke. Yeah, that was kind of funny though. Like,
Mercedes and Esat just left the room.
Okay. let me start.
I was starting. How do you cut me off?
Because I'm gonna
So for you, all of you guys that say that I cut Rashawn off from time to time,
one time.
he is the pot
One time.
right now.
Relax, my nigga. All right. Now, I would say this. First of all, this is gonna be tough. He shouldn't be using the word anyway as an term of endearment. There shouldn't be the way to use that word, right? You shouldn't be using that word unless you're black, in my opinion. But then I'm gonna tell you how that's not necessarily true, right? And I'm gonna explain to you. And I know black people are gonna be upset with me, but it is what it is. I grew up in New York City, right? And in New York, Spanish people and black people, we kind of grew up together, right? We grew up together on Jamaica Avenue. We grew up together in the Bronx. We grew up together in Brooklyn. We grew up together. Part of the reason why you hear Fat Joe say the word nigga and nobody really care. I'll just say the N-word, right? You hear Fat Joe say the N-word.
Oh, now you have a problem saying the whole word?
No, because I'm just saying.
Now is where you draw the line?
No, because I'm gonna say.
What brick just dropped out of the sky?
I'm gonna say it that many times, right? That's why you hear Fat Joe say the N-word, and nobody's really mad or upset at Fat Joe is because he grew up in the hood and that's how he was raised. Same thing with Jennifer Lopez. You hear her say N-word in a couple of her songs.
Is that true?
Yes.
I can't really recall.
Pull up Jennifer Lopez. I think it's the song with Ja Rule. She said the N-word. Absolutely, positively. Google it. But that's because I grew up with Puerto Ricans in New York. He might have grew up with black people wherever he grew up, and that was what they did.
That's what I was getting at before you cut me off.
I'm sorry. But the problem with that is when you're out in public, you don't know how that affects people. And this is a tough one because if people are offended by it, it's foul. And I never understood. I know she did.
What's the name of the song?
I'm Real.
I'm Real?
I'm Real with Ja Rule. So if you look at, and this is the thing that bothers me when we use the N word, right? If you talk about a word that's a slur when it comes to the Spanish people, right? If somebody black said that, they would crucify us. If we said, yes, if you say a word that's a slur to Indian people, if you say a word that's a slur to Jewish people, if you say a word that's a slur to, if you say a word that's a slur to any other ethnic groups than black people, people will get mad. They will be picketing. They will have a problem. If you say the slur for Chinese people, for Asian people, for all these different people, even if you don't say the word correctly, right? Like one of the biggest misconceptions is somebody will say that person is Oriental, right? Which is not a term. Oriental is a rug. People will really get confused, but the thing about it is a lot of people don't know the knowledge because that's what they've been told for years. But if you say any of these terms, you can get canceled and people will be, they will crucify you. But the N word is a lot different because people use it as a term of endearment. You, my friend, my white friend, you should not be using that term. It does not fit for you. It's not for your people. It is totally off the table when it comes to it. And it should be for my Mexican brother as well. But the biggest problem is to win an argument, right? When you're dealing with somebody that's an attorney, like I'm dealing with Gia all the time, you have to pick your battles, right? And the reason you pick your battles is because Gia, probably like your husband, thinks 3 steps ahead, right? So if Gia already has the argument in her mind and knows what she's going to say before you say. So what I realize I have to do is I have to fall back. I can't give her that until I'm 5 steps in front of her, right?
Which never happens.
Whatever. But
Bless you.
So what I usually do is when I'm having a problem with Gia, I won't deal with it in that situation. I deal with it later when I can really completely understand the argument and what I want to say. Sneeze again. I don't know. I got a cold or something. Thank you. So also when it comes to that, that's what I would do with the argument. Also,
wait, hold on. So you're saying you defer?
I will defer an argument and
Arguments?
then argue later when I have my ducks in a row to know what I'm going to say because you're very fast on the draw. So you know what you're going to say, how you're going to say. That's why I always call you a lawyer because if you're in court, you got to know how to pivot. Gia knows how to do that well. And if you're not really thinking or your mind doesn't think like that, you will always lose, in my opinion. 2, I will say this other thing too. Me and Gia have an unwritten rule that we never discuss, but it's just a rule. We never argue in public. We never argue in front of somebody. We will never argue unless it's family or something like that. But even if Gia and I are upset at each other for anything, we will not argue in public. We will not give anybody that energy. We will sit in that car. And when we get back in the car, we'll argue. We will be at that restaurant. We won't speak. We won't talk. We'll just this, that, and the other. And then when we get back home or we get in the car or wherever where nobody is, then we'll have that conversation. We never like to argue in front of people because we do realize that sometimes it's not the argument which destroys relationships or cause problems. It's how it's spoken, who is in front of, what happens outside and around that. So we always take that. We could be in a club and be mad as fuck at each other. We won't say anything. Then when we get back in that car, we're going to explode. Or when we get back in that house, then we're going to explode. But that's how we are. And I think that's how people should solve their problems. Like, don't argue in front of people. Don't give people that energy. And sometimes if I say, you're a bitch, let's say, and she might be like, well, you're a dickhead. It's cool. We can get over it.
Not really.
But now, hold on. But now if you're in a club.
No, you called me a bitch. I can't remember you ever calling me a bitch.
I'm just using that as an example. But if
I know, but it's not a realistic example.
But if I say you're an asshole.
You don't call me an asshole.
I don't call you anything, but I'm just saying, could you just go with what I'm saying?
Can you just say something that's a little bit more realistic? Because it's just not real. That's not honest.
I don't call you any names anyway. So if I said, you're late. I don't know. I don't know.
What if you said I don't know. You don't say anything nasty.
But if I call her a nasty name, let's say I called her a bitch or asshole.
Let's just say, okay.
That's what I said 10 minutes ago.
I just have to clarify because you said it so cavalierly as though this is how we speak to each other. It's not how we speak to each other.
But if I called her a name and we were in the car with each other, it's just us, it's easy to just say, all right, fuck it. We were just mad in the moment. But now if we say it in front of people, it's a different level of disrespect, right?
Absolutely.
Because now it's not just you and him. It's not, you're going to disrespect me in front of Sue. You're going to disrespect me in front of Michael. You're going to disrespect me in front of Calvin, which makes the situation a lot worse. Well, are you going to disrespect me in public?
There was a problem that you guys were arguing about in the first place. Now it's 2 problems.
Correct. So
it doesn't just make that problem bigger. It's 2 completely separate problems at that point.
Correct. So to answer your question, the first thing that you guys should say is, if you do have a problem in public, you should handle it outside. And you're absolutely right. If him saying the N-word makes you uncomfortable and it makes you feel icky, which it should, he should be able to respect you and be like, you know what? It is what it is. I won't do that around you. I won't do that in public. Now, if you want to do it with his black friends and he's comfortable with his black friends doing it, that's something different. But as far as out and about with you, you're absolutely positively right. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, which it should, if it makes you feel icky, which you should, then he should not be using those words or that tone when he is talking to you. What do you feel?
I don't have anything to add. I agree with everything that you said.
And also, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, sometimes you might have to say things that make him feel uncomfortable. Whatever that you know will hit that spot to be like, oh, because sometimes people don't feel that, because not to say I feel he's wrong, but I do understand when you grow up in a certain environment, especially as a kid. When I was a kid, I grew up with Spanish people. I'm sure I grew up with Mexicans. I'm sure I grew up with white people. I grew up with everybody. It was like a melting pot. And if somebody used the N-word when I was a kid, it really didn't make me think about it. Now, when I'm older, I think about it and I look at it a different way. But when I was a kid, it was, what's up, my nigga? What's up, my nigga? Like, that's just what we did. When you play basketball, foul, my nigga. Yo, that was a foul, nigga. Like, that's what it was. And it's a lot different now. But growing up in New York, it was what it was. The bodega guy said it. This person said it. This person said it. It just was what it was.
But the fact that he's using the word, I just want to spend a little bit more time on that, because like I was saying before, he grew up around Black people.
Correct.
And they probably accepted him as one of their own. And they probably used that term of endearment towards him. And he probably reciprocated the same energy. So in that bubble, it was okay. But what he has to realize, my point is, I don't think that there's any malintent or any racism or any disrespect meant when he uses the word. But the problem is that he doesn't exist within a bubble. So now when you take that same mentality and you go to a restaurant and he has a few drinks in him and he's feeling loose and he uses the word casually when there are other people around that can be offended, he has to be more self-aware in that situation, because and that's why when you were referring to the N-word as it compares to other racial slurs, I was like, and the reason I was like, is because there is a very specific and hurtful history associated with the N-word.
I think with these other words too, I just think in these other backgrounds, people respect them more. Like,
it's not the same.
Like
it's not the same.
The Asian word is crazy.
No, it's not crazy.
The Spanish word is crazy.
No, they're not crazy. I'm part Asian. I am part Spanish. I am part, and nothing is like the N-word. Our people were lynched.
It's all fucked up.
And it's not as effed up. It's just like, if you put it on a scale of effed upness, it kind of tilts in one direction. But as Black people, what we've done is we've taken the word, we've disarmed it, we've made it our own, and we took a lot of the power away from it. But we still reserve the right to be suspicious of someone that doesn't have the ability to own that word, using that word, because we don't know what their intention is. So when you're in a public place and you use that word, you are like running the risk of being pummeled. Like, it's not smart. It's not sensitive. And if you choose to do it in your home, coming from his background of being around, okay, no malintent, but it's not smart and it's not sensitive to do it in public.
All right. Well, let us know how it works out. You could always email us, thekcrew@gmail.com, theekcrew@gmail.com. I want to salute to some of our sponsors, of course, Lincoln Tech. If you're looking for a trade school, maybe college is not your thing and you want something where you can get some technical HVAC learning, automotive learning, healthcare learning, welding learning, definitely look up Lincoln Tech, one of the best schools I've ever been to. I go there all the time. I speak to the students. I actually took some classes there. Check out Lincoln Tech. Also, people always ask, what am I drinking? This is actually Monster Energy. So salute to my friends at Monster. I appreciate you guys. And lastly, I just want to shout out to Azuna Fresh. Azuna Fresh, if you're looking for a company that can make your house, your basement, your car smell amazing, and you don't have to worry about the unnatural things that's in the solution, definitely check out Azuna Fresh. Check out the commercial. What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy. Are you a dad like me? You take your kids everywhere, you feel like a Lyft or Uber driver, and they use your car for everything, even changing? And sometimes your car might smell a little crazy. When I'm talking change, I'm talking about cleats. I'm talking jerseys. I'm talking food. I'm talking tap shoes. Well, if you want your car to smell clean, use Azuna. Now, Azuna Odor Freshener will not just make your car smell clean, it fights the problem. It gets to the root of everything. And you ain't got to worry about it wasting after time because they have refills as well. Hello. So make sure you check out Azuna. Go to Azuna Fresh on Instagram or Amazon and order your Azuna now. All right, and everybody else, we'll see you guys next week. We appreciate you for rocking with us. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Kia Casey.
And that was another edition of the KC Crew. Toodles.
Toodles.